Hello everyone, welcome back to Netcode-Hub channel. So in this video we're going to talk about that is using a Syncfusion DataGrid component in our project. In the last video we talked about how to create a project, but this time around we're going to we're going to integrate a Syncfusion DataGrid component into our application. Now with this application, this is what you want to do. We want to talk about employee management. Okay, so that's what you're going to perform in this application. The whole tutorial is going to be employee management, so take note. Now, when you launch a Visual Studio, we have two templates that we can actually choose from: Blazor Server app and we have Blazor WebAssembly app. In the previous video, we talked about we chose the Blazor WebAssembly app. Now, with the Web Server app, this is used to run on a server, and now with the WebAssembly app, it is used to run on a client browser. Okay, so let's create a new project there, and we are going to add both the server and the client as well. So let's launch our Visual Studio. So Visual Studio 2022, launch it. So let's wait for it to be launched. Then let's click on Create New Project. So let's search here Blazor. And you can see from here you have Blazor Server app. So this runs only on the server. Now this runs only on the client browser. So this is what you want to do. So click on that. Now click on Next. So let's give it a name. So that's a Blazor project. Let's give it a name as Blazor project, and it's the same as the project name. So Blazor project. Let's add solution to it. Alright, so we have the place already here. Now the next thing to do, or we can the next thing to do here, let's click on Next. And let's wait for it to move. So click on Next. So once we reach here, we are going to select all these three. So let's choose the configure HTTPS. Now ASP.NET Core hosted. This is going to divide it into three. We're going to have the client side, the server side, and we're going to have the shared file. So the shared project is going to be the files or the classes that both are going to be shared. Okay, so that's going to be the classes that both are going to share. That's going to be the shared project. So we're going to have a server project, client project, and a shared project. So once you have these three selected, click on Create. So application is now created. So when you go to Solution Explorer, let's click on that. You see we have the client over here. So Blazor project.client, Blazor project.server, and we have Blazor project .shared. So that's what we have. We have these three projects because we clicked or we checked ASP.NET Core hosted. That's why we have all these three components or all these three projects. Okay. All right. So the next thing to do here is let's go to our notes and see. So we're going to create some classes for employees, and we're going to put them in the shared project. Why? Because these classes both are going to be using. So the department are going to be using. That is the server is going to be using, and the client is also going to be using. So you have to put it in the shared project. So let's first create a department.cs. So let's go to application. Now this is our client, so we're going to put it in the shared folder. So that's a shared folder. Right click on it, and now go to add. So add. Let's add new class. So let's add a class, and the name of the class is going to be our department. So this department, and now click on add. So let me go in there and copy all this fast in it. So we have these two properties in it. So you're going to pass in these two properties, and that's going to be department ID and department name. That is simple to understand, right? So you have department ID and we have department name. So let's pass that in here. Now the next thing to do here is we're going to create another one, and that's going to be the employee. So you can see we have this. Now the next one, we're going to create another class, and that's going to be employee. They're going to pass in this attribute. So you can just pause the video, then you also type them. So the same class, the same place .shared. So right click on this, and now go to add. Now go for class, and now this class is going to be the employee. You're going to add. Now after adding, we're going to copy. Let's go in there and copy all this. So you can see we have employee ID, we have first name, last name, email, date of birth, gender, department ID, and photo path. We have department as well, right? So let's see, let's go for this, let's copy and let's paste it here. So we're going to make this as public, so here will be public, and now when you go to department 2, it's going to be public as well. So we have these public classes. Okay, so if you check here, we have this. Now the next one left is the gender, so let's go in there and create a gender. So let's copy gender. The gender is going to be the enum. So we go to our project, so solution, the same project.shared, right click, and now add new class, and now this class is going to be gender. So with this gender, we're going to pass in, that is this public and enum. So let's see, we have this, let's replace it here. So we have male, female, and other. So that's the gender. Okay, so when you go back to the department, everything is alright. When you go to employee, you see it is alright because it has been added over here, and as you can see, we have it over that gender. Alright, so let's save this now. Now the next thing to do here is we want to display the list of employees using the DataGrid component, and it is part of the Syncfusion. We've talked about this in the last videos. So why do you have to use the Syncfusion? Because it contains the following: it has adaptive UI, it supports touch, it also has a globalization and localization as well. Now we can actually sort it, we can page it, we can filter them, and we can also perform all the CLUD operations. So that's the create, read, update, and delete operations. Now you also support the aggregate column values, and also we can export them to Excel, PDF, and CSV. So that's why we have to use the Syncfusion. Now to do that, first we have to integrate the Syncfusion package. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to copy this. Now let's go to project.client. Then we go to manage NetGet packages. So the solution explorer. Now you can see that's our project over here. So we're going for the client. Right click on the client and then go to manage NetGet packages. So with the NetGet packages, we wait for it to land, then we go to the browse. So let's search, let's pass in this text as syncfusion.blazor.grid. Alright, so you can see we have it here. Now we are going for not this, we are going for the first one, so that's the blazor.grid. Now you can see we are using a version of 6.0, so we should go for a version. So you can see we have it over here, and this is what we're going to do. So we have the latest version here, so let's click on install. So we wait for this to be installed, click on that, then we wait while the application gets installed to our project. So you can see it is installing over here, so we wait for it to finish, then we move on with that. So let's wait. So click on accept to accept it. So we move on. You can see installing, it is installing it, so let's wait as well to finish. So you can see that it has now finished installing. Alright, so that is great. Now the next thing to do here is we are going to add the grid view. So we're going to reference the Syncfusion CSS file into the index.cshtml or the razor. So let's go to application. Now let's close this once we've installed it. Let's go to Solution Explorer. Now in the client browser, let's go to www root folder, and now in that, so let's click on index.html. Now let's link our files here. So let's wait for it to open. Now when it opens, this is what you're going to do. You're going to link this. So that's a syncfusion.blazor.themes bootstrap4.css. So we are going to link that. So let's copy this, and here where we have our links. So you see we have our links here. So let's also link this as well. So we have it. Let's wait. So we have also linked it also to the application. Now let's see, the next thing to do here is we have to import the declaration in the import file. So we have to import these two declarations here in the import file. and now we're going to import this Syncfusion.Blazor and .grid, because that's what we just downloaded, so we have to include it. So let's copy this, and we go to, let's see, you're going to import .razor. So we have solution, we have let's go for import.razor. It's over here, and now let's wait. We're going to add this here, so let's add them. So we have these two added. Okay, now let's see the next one. We need to register Syncfusion Blazor service in the program.cs file. So this is how you're going to register them. So let's copy this and let's go to program.cs. So you can see it is very simple. So program.cs. Now that where we have the builder service, this we are going to, so here, so we're going, let's register it. So we register it here. So that builder.services add Syncfusion Blazor. So we have it done. You can save this. Now the next thing to do once you have registered now is we want to display the list of employees in the home page. Okay, so projects, we're going for the pages and index.razor. So let's see, projects, and we have pages. So we have pages. Now we have index.razor. So that's the page that's rendered. So here, that is the page. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Let's create the Syncfusion. So that's the name, Syncfusion Grid SF. So it's time for Sync Fusion. So let's copy all this. Now when you copy, this is what you want to do. We are displaying selected columns. So you can see we have a list of data here, but we are displaying only ID, first name, last name, and email. That's what you want to delete. You want to display. Okay, we have the header text. So this is the field name, this is the header text. That is simple. So let's go to application, and now here let's clear all this. Let's clear all this. So we have on initialized. Let's see if we have it. Let's check. So do we have void on initialized? On initialized. So let's see. So let's try to with this. So let's see, override, tab again. So let's see if, let's use not private but rather let's use protected. So protected, override, uninitialize. Okay, now employees equal to load data. So now let's go there and create this load data. So to create this load data, this is the load data here. So you're going to pass in the sample data value, as you can see from here. So ID, first name, last name, up to the photo path. Okay, so we have this. So they're going to copy all this. I have almost 6 of them. So it is just a simple. At the end of the day, you're going to just add the list, and that is a simple thing to do. So as soon as you do one, you can create, copy and paste to get the rest. Okay, so I have this here. Let's copy this, and in our code here, the next line we paste this here. So you're having an employee. So this is employee 6. So at the end of the day, we are adding all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one is 6. So we add this 6 too, because we have 6, we have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, so we have that, and let's see. So we are returning employee here. Let's see with the grade. So not grade, the grade columns. So employees. Okay, so let's see. It is same as this here. Alright, so once you are done with this, once you are done creating this, what is the next thing to do? So let's see, we have to include the license key, but it's necessary to do so. Let's first run the application and see first. So when we are done with that, that's where you have to include this license. But currently you're not having the license here, so we're going to give us the trial version for 31 days, but we're going to have a red line. So let's go to application, let's save this. Now let's run this application and see. So click on this to run it. Alright guys, so we have a page. I forgot one thing here that I need to know. So we have to install Bootstrap, that is a Syncfusion.themes. So you go to your project, now you go to add new project. So let's go back and do it again. So here you have to install this, and you want to link this Syncfusion.blazor.themes bootstrap 5.css. You have to link actually this. Okay, so I'm going to close this. Now let's go to the Solution Explorer, and now with the application, client side right click and go to manage Netcode packages. So you go to browse, and now here you're going to add Blazor themes. So Blazor.themes. So make sure you have this. Make sure you add this. So this, install it over here. So when you install, and after installing, so I have installed it already over here, and it is here. Okay, so now I can just go ahead and I run the project. And now let's wait for the project to render, then we see the output. Since I haven't activated it, now it is giving me a 30 days trial, but there is a practical lesson, so I need not to activate, I need not to purchase anything because it's for a studies method. So I'm not going to buy anything else. Okay, so you can see as soon as the page loads, as soon as the data loads, you're going to see on top of the screen maybe giving us a warning or it's a danger or whatever. We should purchase it. But as you can see here, you see this application was built using trial version. So this is a trial version. I'm going to close that for 30 days. So you can see we have the table being rendered here. Now I can decide to expand this, and you can see we have the table here. Okay, so you have an ID column, we have the first name, we have the last name, and you have the email column, and that is the various data being displayed over here. Alright, so today we've achieved what you wanted to do, and now you're able to load the data from the application and display in the data grid. So remember to actually have anything accurate and everything supposed to be online intact with whatever that you have here. So have the time, try to create one, you copy and paste it, then you change the values in it, and that's what's going to work it for you. So that is for this video. Next video, move on to the next one. Let's give it a break and have some more chilled water. We'll come back later on.